Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Inside the U live postgame show. The Miami Hurricanes win 6-4 over Notre Dame, improved to 38-15, snap a three-game losing streak, improved to 19-9 in the ACC. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Brandon, Matt, great seeing you guys in here. We will get to Coach Gino DiMare and some players because they won today. Notre Dame, they get the three-run homer in the ninth inning off Andrew Walters. Walters came into the game only allowing one run on the season, only one base hit to a right-handed batter in 52 at-bats. He gives up an infield hit and then the three-run homer in the ninth, but he gets the foul out. I will show you highlights of this game. If you did not get a chance to see it, we will go throughout the game. But a big win for Miami. They stay out in front in the Coastal Division by one game. Virginia Tech beat Duke today 15-11. So Miami's still one game out with 2 games left to win their first ACC regular season title since 2016. Miami's still in position to host a regional and super regional. I felt like this was a big game just to alleviate the pressure of winning in this series. Again, Miami coming in 3-game losing streak against a good opponent in Notre Dame who had really been on fire. You know, John Michael Bertrand, the ACC leader in ERA, was really sharp. Carson Palmquist improves to 9-3, allows 1 hit, 1 run in 5 innings. So Alex McFarland did well. Great to see he did well there. The big player of the game, freshman Gaby Gutierrez, he gets a couple home runs. You know, he comes into the game with just 1 home run, hits 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Not only did he have a big game today, but coach puts him out there, even though Gutierrez was 0 for 15 coming into the game, strikes out in his first at-bat, and then he gets a 3-run homer there in the 5th and a 2-run shot in the 7th there. So he was 0 for 16 before he goes into this crazy home run. And those were big-time home runs. Let's get right to it. Again, we got Gino DiMare coming up and players. I assume Carson Palmquist and Gaby Gutierrez. I assume they'll be available. Looking forward to talking to both of those guys. But here's some highlights from the game.
Kind of corral that home plate and make you throw it in.
Oh, it came in again, and Putz lifts it to left center with Burke back, and he makes the catch. Oh, what a grab by Jacob Burke.
He's running that fastball in off the plate just to keep the hitters honest.
Buries a changeup and strikes out Brannigan.
It's not easy to do what he has done.
He strikes out Gutierrez here. Palmquist is rolling. Bertrand is rolling.
Not a high, long fly ball up in the air. No, it's a beautiful line drive home run that hits off the palm tree. Better.
1-2. Cut on and missed.
To throw strikes, it makes the hitter a lot harder.
Morales in the air, deep right. Ties the game. Opposite field solo jack from Yohandy Morales. And this game is tied at 1 in the 4th.
First out. And this bat goes a long, long way. Watch your head. Luckily, there's a netting there.
Palmquist ready. 1-2. Cut on and miss. Patelli strokes one. Behind Preisner into left center. Garcia rumbles around second.
Play in order.
And now Gutierrez lifts it to center. Myers is back. Gone! 3-run shot for the freshman Gaby Gutierrez. And Miami leads in the 5th.
Earlier.
1-2. Brannigan check swing. He went around. 3 straight strikeouts from Alex McFarland. 1-1-2. Breaking balls hit well. Into left center. And Gutierrez does it again. Second home run in as many ABs for Gaby Gutierrez. And he extends the Miami lead.
Indeed. This ball is rooked. Capus gets up there. Smart enough, get over there. Patelli gets to second. Double play. Big one for UM.
1-2. Strike 3. Series. Here's Ryan Cole. First pitch swinging. Cole in the air to left. And that ball's gone. 3-run shot for Ryan Cole. His second home run of the ball game. And Coetzee gets under this one. Foul ground, first base side, and Romero makes the catch. They say he dropped it on the transfer, and Miami wins it. They take the opener from Notre Dame 6-4.
So there we go. That wraps up a lot of highlights in this one, a lot of strikeouts. Both pitchers on point today. I thought it was good. Carson Palmquist, once again, pitching really well coming into this one. His last 4 starts, ERA under 1, and then he just pitches well again today. You know, he comes out after 87 pitches, 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. I thought he used his changeup very well. I thought, you know, John Michael Bertrand on the other side also using his changeup very well. Another left-handed pitcher. He drops a 7-2. Once again, Miami gets a big win tonight. You know, and I thought it was good. You know, some people might be curious about the bullpen. They had the lead. But look, Miami's trying to win an ACC title, and I think making sure you get the wins, I understand why you put Gage Zeal back in there. I thought it was good that he kind of battled through it today after what happened last game. So I thought that was good that he got out there. And then with a 6-1 lead in the 9th, yes, you put Walters out there because all of these games matter right now, and they can't really afford any wiggle room trying to win the regular season title. And I know that's what Coach would have to say there. And, you know, he gives up a home run. One of the things I'll be paying attention to, not just tonight or even tomorrow, but throughout the week, you know, is the bullpen arms, how often they're throwing. They threw a lot of pitches last game. I will bring this post-game show tomorrow as well, and I will really dive into the bullpen, you know, what it looks like with how many pitches they've been throwing. I'm going to show that before that final game because I feel like that's going to be key, especially with that Saturday game being at 1 o'clock, you know, just to make sure guys are in there. So that was what stood out to me. You know, they did go through some bullpen guys tonight, you know, like they did 2 days ago. However, I think they just got to, everybody's on deck right now. And, you know, this is a very important game and, you know, just stopping the losing streak. And like I said, guys perform big. Gaby Gutierrez, I can't say enough about him because he's batting in the 9-hole spot. And just because, you know, Edgardo Villegas was out, that doesn't mean Gaby would automatically start. He'd not been starting every game since. Still waiting on Gino DiMare. Just want to make sure I'm checking the Zoom. But, you know, for him to do that and get in there with the big right-handed bat, going deep to center field and then sliding over with that one to left field, I thought it was big, and I thought that was good for him. He showed a lot of power that we've not seen a lot, you know, particularly lately because he's really struggled swinging the bat. Yohandy Morales, solo home run. Don't want to forget about him because, you know, he had been really struggling with the strikeouts were really piling up. He struck out in his first at bat, so that put him 2 for 14 with 9 strikeouts in the last few games. But then he comes up big with that solo homer, you know, just to get Miami, you know, on the board, you know, to tie it 1-1 there in the 4th inning, you know, and Notre Dame got the home run there to start it and essentially got it going for Notre Dame. And then pitchers settled down. Good performance by a lot of guys. Good performance by the bullpen overall, especially, again, with what happened last game. You don't want things to continue, especially late in the year. So if they can get behind that. Coach mentioned last game about confidence. It looks like we're getting started here.
Gaby, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Gaby, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. Great. If you can unmute your camera, please. We have Miami Hurricanes freshman outfielder Gaby Gutierrez. If you have a question for Gaby, please use the hand raise function. We will start with Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris?
Yeah, Gaby, obviously a big night for you. And, you know, just coming into this game, obviously the hit list at bats have been starting to pile up for you. Just kind of what have you been working on? And then to get the results in this one and how good did that feel? If you could just walk us through your home runs as well.
Well, I've been struggling a bit, but I stuck to the same approach with Lopes, our hitting coach, and just believe in it and just stick to it. And the home runs, the first one, second and third, I was obviously trying to find something to drive up in the air. And he hung a changeup high, and I just put a barrel on it.
Next, we'll go to Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam?
Hi, Gabby. Nice game tonight. I saw a picture of you from before the game. I guess you're kissing the bat. Is that going to be a new pregame ritual?
Yeah, it sure is.
And I mean, obviously, two big home runs in a big game, start off a big series, kind of end the season on a regular season on a high note. I mean, how much do these home runs mean to you personally? Because I know you had a bit of a rough season, and also how much do they mean to the team, given that this is a big game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of it all, whatever helps the team, honestly. My stats are all I really don't care about them, honestly. But whatever helps the team and puts them on top is what really matters.
And what's it like when Carson's on the mound, he's mowing guys down, 8 Ks tonight in 5 innings? You kind of bored in the outfield there?
Yeah, actually I do a little bit. I gotta peep in to see Gino every pitch, but he's the only one that entertains me.
We'll go back to Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris?
Gaby, can you talk about the adjustments maybe you made from your first at bat to your second there, from the strikeout to the home run? You touched on the changeup, but can you just talk a little bit more about the adjustment you made?
Yeah, the first at bat, I think I saw maybe one fastball and just straight changeups, and I was ahead, missing them. So I made an adjustment at the end and let it travel. And again, look something up at that situation was to look for something up and drive it up. And yeah.
And then the second home run obviously proved to be a big one for you guys. What'd you see there in that one? And obviously, what does this game, you personally, what does this kind of mean to you? You get the win and the big performance.
Yeah, and I saw first pitch fastball. We have like a report before every pitcher comes in, and they tell us what to expect. And then he threw me a hanging curveball, so I put a barrel on it, saw it high, put a barrel on it. And on the win, I mean, it's a huge win for the team, especially now coming to the ACC tournament. It's helping us a lot.
Are there any other questions for Gaby? Gaby, thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a big game for Gaby Gutierrez. We'll probably stick more with players here and then get coach.
Yo-Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We have Miami third baseman Yohandy Morales. If you have a question for Yo-Yo, please use the hand raise function. We'll start with Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris?
Yo-Yo, I know you had a home run, but your thoughts on Gaby, what he was able to do, and going through a little bit of a rough stretch and really giving you guys quite a bit tonight.
I mean, it's big. Every home run that he hit today was obviously a big key thing that we did today in the game that basically helped us win the game today. Big 3-run home run, and then if we hadn't hit that home run, it would have been probably a tie ball game there at the end. So it was a big 2-run home run at the end.
And I asked Gaby the same thing. He struck out in his first at bat and hit a home run. Maybe same with you. What adjustments did you make, and then kind of what'd you see on your home run?
I mean, I was just trying to let the ball travel, to be honest. Didn't really change anything. Just the first one, I just didn't hit the ball. I missed it. And then the second at bat, just saw the ball up and away, and I just went with the pitch.
Our next question for Yo-Yo comes from Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam?
Hi, Yo-Yo. Good game tonight. I mean, what do you think it means to Gaby to, he's a freshman. He's had, struggled a bit this year. To come in tonight, big game and, hit 2 home runs and ultimately, basically win the game for you guys.
I mean, it's baseball. It's a long season. You got to go through ups and downs, and you just got to keep fighting and keep working with your coaches day in and day out. And you just got to stick with the same approach that's been helping you. And obviously showed tonight that and he had a big game.
And how much do you guys, the guys who've been around here for a little bit, kind of maybe try to help pick him up and support him when, it's his first season here, and kind of how much you guys try to support him?
I mean, we try to support everybody. This is a family. It's not anybody individual where we do this as a team, we lose a team, we win as a team, and we work basically every day 24/7 as a team. So we try to support everybody and pick each other up.
Our next question for Yo-Yo comes from Patrick McCall from the Miami Hurricane. Patrick?
Yohandy, congrats on the win. Is there anything that you're trying to work on in this stretch? Obviously, you had the home run tonight, but, is there anything that you want to work on up at the plate as you enter this big time in the season with only a couple games left?
I mean, I've just been missing a lot of pitches and been working at that, probably trying to do too much, but I'm just trying to get on base and do what I can to score some runs for my team, either if it's a walk, no matter what, get on base to try to score runs.
We'll go back to Christopher Stock from Inside the U. Chris.
I was curious if you knew the result of the Virginia Tech game, and then also if you could just speak on the significance of this win with everything you guys are battling for right now.
No, not really. We honestly doesn't matter what any other team does. We just care about ourselves and us winning. We don't really pay attention to any other team. We know we have to win and what we have to do. So we just stay between ourselves and just try to win games.
And how important it was this one, to get this win, especially to start the series.
Yeah,
with where
I
you
mean,
guys
every
went.
game is important. Every win is important. There's obviously a big win here at the final stretch, and we're just going to keep having to win and get momentum going into the HC tournament.
Are there any other questions for Yo-Yo?
Yeah, if I could, Josh, just one more.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We've seen Carson pitch well pretty much all year long, but in particular, these last five, he's been really good these last five and again today. Is there something you've seen for him? And then what are you seeing out there with how he's pitching for you guys here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Carson. He hasn't really changed anything. He's just been really aggressive going up to hitters, not falling behind. Probably in the beginning of the game, the first home run, he fell behind the count, and he's been really just getting ahead of hitters and not letting anybody on. So he's been pitching great for us all year. And can't ask for anything more than that. Just going to continue to work hard and keep pitching his game.
Yo-Yo, thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Hey, how's it going?
Carson, can you hear me?
Yeah, Josh.
We have Miami starting pitcher Carson Palmquist, who became the first Hurricane in 4 years with 100 strikeouts in a season. If you have a question for Carson, please use the hand raise function. We'll start with Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam.
Hey, Carson, good game tonight. I mean, you've been the number one starter, basically all season this year. This is the last series of the year, big game, big series, chance to kind of clinch the ACC title this season, this series. Does that kind of weigh on you coming into a start, or you kind of push that from your mind?
You try to push that out of your mind. I mean, in the back of your mind, you know what's on the line, what we need to do, what we need to do to win. But you kind of just push that to the back and just go out there and battle every single batter. Because if you make your pitches, every pitcher across our staff, if we make our pitches, no one can beat us. And that's just what we need to do when we go out there.
And being the Friday, or in this case, Thursday night starter, you're usually going up against the other teams. They pitched tonight. You guys were matching zeros for the first couple of innings. You even matched home runs in the fourth. What does that kind of weigh on you at all? Where it's like, hey, I got to have my best stuff out there tonight because they're going to throw their best guy too.
Yeah, I mean, every weekend going into the Friday night series, everyone's Friday night's very good. Their best pitcher, obviously. And it's just always a battle. It's fun to go out there to see who's going to be the better pitcher by the end of the night. And I just love the competition. Hopefully coming out on top and thinking in my head, I'm better than him.
Our next question for Carson comes from Patrick McCall from the Miami Hurricane. Patrick.
Hey, Carson, I just wanted to, ask about what was your mentality after Ryan Cole got the home run, was the first hit you allowed in the fourth inning? How do you kind of adjust in that point? Obviously, it's, as you mentioned, a pressure spot when your team's not going to be able to score as many runs against a good starter.
I just knew I fell behind in the count, and that's what happens when you fall behind in the count. Nothing really good happens from there. And just after that, I just tried to maintain focus and concentration and not let that one moment dictate what the rest of the game was going to be the outcome of. Because one run wasn't going to beat us in that game. It was just keeping them there, giving my team a chance.
We'll go to Christopher Stock from Inside the U. Chris.
Carson, your thoughts on the significance of this win with everything you guys are battling for, and to start the series? Obviously, you always want to get wins when you pitch, but just your thoughts on kind of big picture, ending the losing streak, the whole thing here.
It was a huge win for us. It was a big momentum booster, playing against a really good Notre Dame team, and just coming out here. We know what we can do, and we've been playing like not ourselves recently, and we just need to get back into the swing of things. And this is a good way to start, push us in the right direction.
What'd you think of Gaby's night tonight?
Phenomenal. It's been fun all year. It's every game someone new on the team is stepping up and doing something huge. And tonight it was Gaby, and no one deserves it more than Gaby. He's a great kid and great teammate.
Are there any other questions for Carson? Carson, thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Thank you, guys.
Gino, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you.
We have Miami Hurricanes head coach Gino DiMare. Gino, if you can start with an opening statement, and then we'll go into questions.
Well, big win for us. Coming off a few, games there, we lost 3 in a row, and really hadn't played well as we'd like. And I thought we, did a good job starting with Carson on the mound. Pitched very well. We had to really watch him with pitch count because the fact that he's throwing 2 days less than he normally does. We got rained out obviously on Friday at FSU, and so he had to throw Saturday. And the game's being moved up, being the last weekend of the season, throwing Thursday. So that was, the key. They were trying to figure out when was the right time to get him out. And fortunately for us, it worked out. He threw well. And then, of course, McFarland came in and just did an outstanding job in that situation, first and second, nobody out, and got 3 strikeouts. And then, of course, got us another inning, and then was able to get to the last few guys, albeit they weren't their sharpest, but we were able to get the job done. But, of course, had the big home runs. The 3 home runs did all the damage, and of course the 2 very, very big. And then that last one, that's the difference maker. 2-run home run. We win by 2 runs, end up winning by 2 runs. So very happy with this first win of the series. And now we, turn the page and got to get ready to play tomorrow.
Our first question for Gino comes from Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris.
Hey, Gino, Gaby 0 for 15 coming into this one over his last 5 games, but your confidence to get him out there, what have you seen? And obviously your thoughts on his performance, certainly big for you guys.
Well, I mean, Gaby's a guy that's, it's tough. These guys aren't playing. He's one of those guys that we've been platooning a lot in the outfield, one of the corner outfield positions. We're down a few guys, with, Renzo's not fully back yet. And Eddie's available, but can't play in the outfield just yet. So he's really maybe just a DH at the moment. And so the opportunity for certain guys is there. And we thought the matchup with him and this pitcher being left-handed just was a little bit better matchup than maybe going with Mikey, one of our other left-handed outfielders, or, some of the other guys. But, the situation there was at second and third, one out, and the infield came in, and he knows what he needs to do. He needs to get a pitch up in the zone. He took ball 1, I believe, was down. And sure enough, he got the second pitch up in the zone, and he backspun it right out of the ballpark. Great job. Great pitch selection in that situation. And then, of course, the other one with the home run, I think it was a breaking ball, if I'm not mistaken. But, he hit the ball. Again, that's the key. They're both big. That's 5 RBIs with 2 swings. But, now you see that team hits a home run, scored a 3-run home run late in the game there in the 9th. And those extra 2 runs were huge.
Our next question for Gino comes from Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Adam.
Hey, Gino. Carson got his 100th strikeout of the season tonight. First Miami pitcher to do that since 2018. I mean, obviously, season's not done yet. He's only in the 2nd season. But where do you think that kind of puts him in the echelon of, Miami pitchers that have come through here in the last several years?
Well, anytime you get that many strikeouts, you're in a special group. We've had a number of great pitchers over the years. I've obviously been here a long time, so we've seen a lot of great ones come through here. He's definitely one of a kind, though. I don't recall anybody being quite like him. He's very unique because of his delivery. And, he did it tonight with all righties except 1 lefty in the lineup. They were 8 stacked with 8 righties in the lineup, and a lot of teams are doing that with him. Not all, but a lot. And, he's getting a lot of those strikeouts. I don't know how many, but I'm sure he got a number of them with his changeup, if I had to guess, which is great. He's his bread and butter. Everything goes off his fastball, no doubt. He's got to command that fastball in and out. which I think he did tonight. And it's always hard to see from the side of the dugout where the pitches are in or out, but the changeup was very effective and has been lately. And I think that's been probably more the secret of his success of late and why he's pitched so well is his changeup to righties and basically off speed in general. But the changeup's been great.
Yeah, and a similar. I was gonna ask about that. Is that he does the trend is kind of velocity, high 90s guys, and he's kind of a throwback guy who throws kind of sidearm low 90s with that changeup. I mean, how rare is that for you to see a guy like that who's able to get so many strikeouts and be so dominant with lower velocity?
Yeah, well, he was a little higher velocity when he was a closer. Now being a starter, he's 89 to 92, probably 90, 92. I mean, I think he hit some 92s. I'll have to look at the sheet there with all the velocities. But you're right, he's a low 90s guy basically, but he's a guy that you can't simulate. You just can't simulate as an opposing team. The batters, there's no way of preparing for that arm slot. I mean, as coaches, we all try when we're facing opposing pitchers, we try our best to set up machines, and even some of us will throw and try to throw similar to the pitcher. But I would think it'd be very hard for somebody to simulate throwing like him. It's a very unique arm angle that the hitters don't see. It's their first time seeing if they haven't seen him before, and so. But we know him as a starter. It was going to be different this year. The closer deal, you only see the hitters one time. He's in there for a couple innings, and that's it. Now they come back and see him 3 times, maybe 4 times, multiple times. And so his pitchability needs to be better than as a closer, meaning he's got to be able to throw other pitches for strikes. He's got to command the strike zone with his pitches, starting with a fastball, and he's done that.
Our next question comes from Patrick McCall of the Miami Hurricane. Patrick.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Is there anything that you thought was really working well tonight for Alex McFarland? Is obviously the reliever for Palmquist, but came into sort of a big spot there with 2 on, nobody out, and then is able to strike 3 out immediately. Is there anything that you thought worked really well for him, or you saw?
His breaking ball. His breaking ball is it's a swing and miss pitch, and that's where he got all the strikeouts on, I think. But the majority of his strikeouts are going to come from the breaking ball, even though he's a 96, 97, 98 guy, and he's got a great arm. It's the breaking ball that's been the great equalizer. And so that's the pitch he's going to go to. And that's the pitch that stands out certainly as the one that he's going to get a lot of swing and misses from. And I believe that's what he got tonight.
Our last question for Gino comes from Christopher Stock from InsideTheU. Chris.
Gino, I was curious about the lineup, the adjustments. You spoke mid-game about that on the TV broadcast, but again, the way Bertrand was pitching and the adjustments you guys made to get the home runs, a lot of, second time through the order was just better for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. He went through the order one time there through the 9 hitters, so whatever inning that was. I know we gathered the guys up in the dugout, and just it was a lot of changeups to the righties, a lot of changeups to the righties. And so we were just telling them to make sure that we were doing a good job of not being out in front of that pitch, seeing the pitch up, try to think of hitting the ball the other way, at least try to feel like you're hitting the ball the other way. So that way you're letting the ball get deep and traveling. Of course, as soon as I said that, he went more fastballs. But even though he did go more fastballs, I believe, you guys have to correct me, those were off-speed pitches that Yo-Yo, I think, hit a changeup, if I'm not mistaken. He thought it was a fastball. I think it was a changeup, but I don't know. I think a few of those balls that we hit hard. Burke had a 3-2 changeup, I believe, double to left center field. But the end of the day, they got some pitches up, which was yo-yos, and that's what you want. And the guy was very effective when he was down, but we got some mistake pitches up. Gaby's pitch, 1-0 pitch, was a pitch up, which we should be looking for with the infield in that situation, and he got it and he executed. So it's a good job on our hitters' part making that adjustment.
I just want to quickly ask, CJ Kaifa swung at the first pitch to start the game. Do you like that aggression? Is that just something he's seeing? Is that something he's kind of doing lately? Your thoughts on that?
I have no problem with it as long as he's getting strikes. CJ, I just heard the stat tonight. I'm not mistaken, Josh, but CJ, first game in the entire year, he did not get on base, which is amazing. That's amazing. So I would think that I am not going to tell him a whole lot. He's done a pretty good job. We're this far into the season. How many games is that? 53 games, where he got on base 52 games in a row. I'm not sure anybody's done that before. Maybe somebody has, but he's been the MVP of our club. To this point, he's been the MVP of our club, and his job has been to get on base, and he's done a lot more than that. But yeah, I don't have no problem swinging at first pitch as long as they're good pitches. And heck, he's getting good swings. He hit a bullet. That's to me, that's a good at bat right there. One pitch, but it was a good swing at a good pitch, and he hit the ball hard. So yeah, that's totally fine with me.
Gino, thank you for your time and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Recording stop.
So it wraps up interviews. A lot of good questions from you guys, good comments. I'm reading your comments as this thing's going on. There's a couple things I want to make sure I note that I left out from my initial thoughts on the game. Kind of going way back, you saw it in the highlight package, but Jacob Burke made a really nice defensive play early in the game, running left center, and being at practice recently in the last couple of weeks. They worked a lot on that, and I didn't get a chance to ask Gino, but just to see that really play out in a game, Jacob running that down, tracking it down, making a leaping catch up against the wall. I thought that was great to see. CJ Kafis had that kind of odd play to me with the pop-up. You clearly saw the wind affected, but he dropped it, gets an error on the play later in the game. He jumps up and makes a line out, jumps up for a catch there, and then throws a second for a double play. So a good defensive play for Kafis. You heard Coach talked right there about CJ Kafis, not just about what he's done this game, but just all season long getting on base. I wasn't aware of that stat. I knew he came into this game 12-game hit streak. He goes 0 for 4 tonight, but Coach mentioned he's been on base every single game, and it feels like that. He's a guy hitting really well all year long. Coaches put him up there. He's also stealing bases. I could check right now real quick here. Coming into this one, I have him at 16 stolen bases, so he had certainly been doing that, and that's not something you really necessarily thought he had in him. So that's good. Once again, a lot of positives in this one. Miami gets 6 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Notre Dame 4 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. 7 left on base. Miami just 1 left on base because they're cleaning everything up with the home runs. The 3 home runs tonight. Yo-Yo gets his 13th, and Gaby Gutierrez hits 2 for his 2nd and 3rd there. So a lot to get into there. Once again, I want to show you guys the ACC standings big picture. I was able to ask a few questions to some of the players. They didn't really want to talk too much about the significance, but this is a big one. With where Miami's at, the standings are updated. Miami is 19-9, Virginia Tech 17-9. Both teams have 2 games left in the regular season. The reason why Miami has a 2-game advantage on Virginia Tech in games played is the Hokies had a couple weather rainouts, weather postponements, cancellations that they will not be made up. That's why it's there. But Miami 1 game up, which means Miami still has to win. If they just have to equal the amount of victories in Virginia Tech's series against Duke with Miami's series against Notre Dame, and Miami will win the Coastal Division. So that's what Miami needs to do. Virginia Tech once again gets that 15-11 win over Duke today. 11 home runs in that game, just a wild one. We'll see how things work out on Friday with the second game of that series. Kind of looking at the Atlantic Division, that is updated. Louisville is in play right now. They're 3-0 up on Virginia in the bottom of the 3rd. That game was supposed to start at 4 p.m. Weather delays. They finally got it started. It stopped again. So they're playing right now. Miami's actually 2 games up on Louisville, but obviously Louisville can pick up a half game if they win tonight. So Miami's still in a good shape. With you'd rather be in Miami's point with right now with the 1-game lead, but Virginia Tech certainly is playing a much easier opponent than Miami is with Notre Dame. The significance with the Atlantic Division, with getting 1 win against Notre Dame, that really puts you up 2 games on Notre Dame, which means Notre Dame can't go ahead and pass you there. Actually 2.5 up on Notre Dame. So they're going to finish ahead of Notre Dame, regardless of how these next 2 games play out. However, Louisville's still in play because right now, once again, they're at 2 games and they could cut back into it. So anyways, that's where things stand. Want to look at the ACC scoreboard. touched on the Virginia Tech win. Georgia Tech gets a win. North Carolina, this is significant to you guys. North Carolina was trailing 5-4 going into the bottom of the ninth, and they get a walk-off 3-run homer to beat Florida State. North Carolina is one of these teams that just kind of keep an eye on. They're playing well down the stretch. Still middle of the pack ACC team, but they've been playing well lately. They're trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Clemson with a big win. Boston College giving up all kinds of runs all season long. They've been the worst team by far in the ACC, and it showed again tonight. That will probably end up in a sweep. It'd be a surprise if not. So Clemson, it looks like they'll be on some good positive momentum. And then Wake Forest wins 8-2 over NC State. Let's look ahead to the Louisville game. Really, just obviously big significance. As you can see, they get a couple runs. They've got 3 hits here. So yeah, that's a big one there. Once again, Miami is looking to win its first regular season title since 2016. They've won 3 in their history. So, obviously getting the 4th would be big. I think it'd be big considering how things have gone in recent years, especially last year. Look, Miami went a different way with a lot of new players this year. A lot of guys that transferred out of the program after what happened last year. Disappointing year. So this has been a good year, good bounce back year. A number of guys that played last year are playing even better than they did a year ago. We touched on Morales and Cephas. Those are 2 guys having better years. And then also, Dominic Patelli, has picked it up from a year ago. He had a nice double tonight, scored twice. I do want to make mention of that. Reached base a couple times in his 3 plate appearances. He had this really nice defensive play where it looked like he might have gotten a guy, but it goes up the middle. But it's certainly a tough play there. So once again, let's look at the stats for Miami. It is disappointing, no doubt, only 5 hits, but they're facing the ACC leader in ERA and John Michael Bertrand, who had only had 1 loss coming into the game. ERA at 2.37, so he was certainly a good pitcher. And you saw tonight, Miami first 10 batters did not reach base. All 10 were out. So I touched on it with each player individually, but also with Gino, who mentioned these guys made an adjustment. Kind of looking at the second time around in the lineup. So 0 for 9 in their first at bat. The next group, they get 4 hits. They go 4 for 8 with a walk. So 5 times guys reach base. 5 out of the 9 at plate appearances, they reach base after going 0 for 9. So good adjustments there. I thought that was good to see. In this game, I touched on the chat. If anybody has any comments, definitely, if you have any questions or comments, definitely do that. And hopefully things are making a little bit more sense in terms of what Miami needs to do this final few games here. Yo-Yo Morales hits his 13th home run of the year, his 5th home run in the last 8 games. So definitely that's good to see. Also good to see Max Romero back out there. He goes 0 for 4, which is disappointing, but he missed last game with an illness. So just good to see him out there. And then also Edgardo Villegas. Coach mentioned that he's not cleared fully, but he was out there today. He made a pinch hit appearance, struck out in the 7th inning after missing the last 4 games with a knee injury that he suffered after getting hit in the head with the pitch that took him out of a game. So he's been dealing with some stuff, but he was out there, and we've not seen Renzo Gonzalez, a guy who's been a part-time starter. Actually, he's only has like about 10 starts, but he's a guy that's played about half the games this year. He's not been out there. He misses his 6th straight game, kind of dealing with the hand injury. So that's what's going on there. Gaby Gutierrez taking advantage of the opportunities with a couple hits, strikes out in his first at-bat, then goes 3-run homer up the middle, deep center field, and then the 2-run shot, which proved to be the difference in the game there in the 7th inning. I want to touch on the pitching again, and we'll wrap this thing up. If you have any final comments, my final comments with the bullpen, Andrew Walters, shocking to see him give up 3 runs, comes into the game only allowing 1 run all season long. He gives up a 3-run homer to pull within 6-4 with 2 outs, but he gets a pop out to catcher, a foul pop out. Romero made a nice sliding catch there to end it, so that was good to see. Disappointing that Walters gives up the home run, obviously, something to pay attention to. If you remember last season, Carson Palmquist dominated all year long, and then kind of later in the year, he kind of struggled with giving up some runs. So hopefully Walters puts this one behind him. He gives up 2 hits. The first hit was an infield hit, just a chopper, a slow roller that Dorian Gonzalez made a good play on, initially ruled out, overturned, and he was safe. So that was interesting there. But overall, I thought it was good. Gage Zeal, but a couple hits, but didn't allow a run. He did a good job after what happened last game. And then Alex McFarland, who's quietly becoming a really big, important part of this team, of this bullpen. I've spoken about him. I'd like to see him in the starting rotation. I don't see anything happening right now, this point in the season. They're going with the formula that they have unless something drastic happens. I do want to mention, though, tomorrow night, Carson Ligon is going to get the start, 6-4, 4.303 ERA, right-handed pitcher going against right-handed pitcher Austin Temple is 3-1 with a 3.3 ERA. I want to mention on the Saturday game at 1:00, the final regular season finale, Miami it's to be determined for a starting pitcher. They are not naming a starter. Alejandro Rosario has started the last 8 series finales. He's been the guy that's been listed, and he's been the guy that started, but he is not the listed starter, which I found to be interesting. I didn't get a chance to ask Gino about it. I forgot to write it down in my notes. I wanted to get his comments on that. Certainly, we'll see how that plays out. Maybe it's some gamesmanship a little bit because Notre Dame also is to be determined on the final day. Maybe they're going to see how this thing plays out. Maybe because Rosario struggled, they're going to go a different route. I thought maybe they would go with McFarland. Anyways, whatever it might be, just something to pay attention to. So those are my final thoughts. So I think that's it. We got the highlights at the beginning. If you're just jumping on later, definitely do that. Also, if you watch this thing back, I chop it up so you can see exactly when players talk. We got 3 players today. I thought that was great. Gaby Gutierrez, Yohandy Morales, and then Carson Palmquist, followed by Gino DiMare. So that was great to see. Big one. Friday night, 7:00, ACC Network. Definitely stay tuned. I will be back here again for a live post-game show. I want to thank everybody for being here. Shout out to Matt, always in here. Brandon, great seeing you here. And also, Canes Cats Heat 305 is always here as well. Shout out to everybody here. Any more information you guys need, drop in the comments below, or obviously check out InsideTheU.com. Thanks again. A final at Miami. Miami wins 6-4, 6 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 1 left on. Notre Dame, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 7 left on. Miami improves to 38-15, 19-9 in the ACC. Notre Dame drops to 32-12, 15-10 in the ACC. Check back. It's going to be a huge game against Notre Dame in Game 2. Have a good night and take care.